Since you do listen to my radio show, what is the Broadway connection with you? How come you're obsessed with Broadway?
I grew up with listening. Well, I grew up in New Hampshire, and my mom loves Broadway. She directs musicals at a local college in New Hampshire.
Didn't you kind of found a theater too?
Yeah, New Hampshire at the Notre Dame College
Bravo.
in New Hampshire. The New Thalian Players is her theater group. And she always listened to musicals and, records of. So I saw a couple Broadway shows as a kid, but
Like what?
I remember when I was 6, my parents took us to The King and I with Yul Brynner.
How was it? Boring or good?
I mean, I think I loved it. I was so little. And then I don't remember seeing another Broadway show until I came here. I would come to New York by myself since I was 16 and see Broadway shows and read my directions back to wherever I was going. And I can't believe my parents let me do it, but I'm glad I did. I saw Les Mis on New Year's Eve.
Just underscoring your story, yes.
And for me, I listen to the soundtrack of these plays, and Les Mis is one of them. And I pictured the whole show in my head. And, sometimes you get the storyline is different in your head.
Yes,
or things
totally.
But to me, I knew the whole show, or a chorus line. I never saw a chorus line, but I know it backwards and forwards, and I picture how it is, and I can see the moments, and so to actually see Les Mis, I mean, I sat in the audience, I was just crying just to be there. And then I was riding on the subway by myself, and it turned midnight, and I was with a bunch of strangers on the subway, and I just I fell in love with New York City, and I fell in love with Broadway and all that stuff.
How old were you when you saw Les Mis?
16.
Oh, that's when you were 16. Oh, my God. First of all, I was not even allowed to take the Long Island Railroad till I was 21 with my mother. Literally. My mother was like, you may not. So you just literally got on a train when you were 16?
I was an apprentice in New Hampshire for summer stock, so I fell in love with all these New York actors, and they would let me stay with them when I would come here. And, they'd just write down directions, take the N to the 6 to the blah, 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 and I would follow the directions, and I was fine, and I loved it. My first memories of feeling that feeling of swooning is just being in New York City,
So wait, now why did you never play Fanny Bryce? The Jewishness, the singing, what's the deal? What was your musical theater experience?
Where, in New Hampshire?
Just anywhere.
In New Hampshire's production of Funny Girl?
Yes, they did an amazing production. No, why were you not starring in a million musicals when you were younger?
I did. I mean, I was in all my school plays.
Like what?
Oh, my God. I played Charity and Sweet Charity, which I still can't believe is such a common high school play. It's about whores.
They're dance hall hostesses. The minute you walked in. Wait a minute. You literally were Charity?
As Charity,
Did you dance, or were you just skinny? You know what I mean?
Just remember, this is New Hampshire high school musical theater. It's not
It wasn't a full equity production.
Yeah. It was, let's see. I was, The Artful Dodger and Oliver.
You did a drag king role? That's literally a boy.
Oh, yeah.
So what did you do? Did you wear your hair up?
I think, back then, luckily, the look was short cropped mullets for girls. In New Hampshire, anyway.
You just wore your signature haircut.
Yeah, so just no change at all. I just put a top hat on and one smudge of brown on my cheek.
Representing dirt. Keep going. Any girl parts?
I was Spanish Rose in Bye Bye Birdie.
Oh, my God. That's a great
What
part.
else was I? Well, I played, when I was 11, I played Annie in the Concord Community Players of
Wait, that's my
Annie.
dream part. How did you get it? I'm not even joking. Oh, my God, my whole childhood. Did you have to audition?
Yeah, I auditioned, and I remember I took a picture with Sandy for the local newspaper, and for some reason, in my head, I thought, you know how you overthink things? I thought, well, the best smile is the biggest possible smile. So I was like...
Radio audience, she looks crazy.
They used the other Annie, for the picture,
God,
and then
they
they
so
said,
crazy?
"Well, you understand. This is the picture you took." And I was like, even at 11, I was like, Oh, yes. No problem.
Enough said.
I get in my head and I forget just normal things. Like, you know, when you just think to breathe. Or I remember when I first came home from New York to visit my mom, I got in my head where I was like, do I kiss my mom on the lips or the cheek? I mean, well, it must be the lips. I mean, you kiss your friends on the cheek. She's my mother. And then I came home and I kissed her on the lips and she was like, Sarah. And I was like, oh, yeah, no, cheek. I get so in my head, you know?
Oh, my God. Wait, back to Annie. You had a real live dog?
Yeah, it's a real life dog. They put like cold cuts in my pocket, so he'd always come to me. It was the greatest because it was New Hampshire, so my daddy Warbucks, Joe Dwelly, who recently passed away, he rest in peace. But I mean, you know, it's like, it's New Hampshire. It's like, Annie, I want to be your father, you know.
Bravo. And how many performances did you actually do?
4, I think.
I love it. Like, rehearsed for 8 months. 4
Yeah.
performances. So fun.
Oh, my dad was like, I don't want her to audition for the play. It's all the way in Concord. You know, she should be focusing on homework. And then I got this part, and he shows up to the play in a big shirt he made, Sarah's daddy. And I'm like,
Oh, my God,
F you.
Now, what about the red wig at the end and the eyebrows? Did you dye the eyebrows red?
They bleached my eyebrows
Thank you.
lighter.
Good.
And so that was it.
And
I
then-
got to walk around with light eyebrows going like, it's for a role.
Yeah, totally. Totally. What an idiot. I love it. And then when you moved to New York, did you ever try out for any actual Broadway musicals?
I mean, my dream when I moved to New York, I moved to New York when I was 18, like as soon as I graduated high school. And I wanted to be Eponine.
Who
you know?
didn't?
But I just immediately started stand-up. I always wanted to do, I had done stand-up since I was 17. I would go to Boston, you know, and it just took over everything I wanted to do. As a matter of fact, I sang at the end of my stand-up act when I first started, and this is so embarrassing but I sang a song to the tune of Memories called Memories because I was flat-chested and I wanted boobs. But then, like, I grew boobs shortly after moving to New York, and I remember the guy who was a comic that I lost my virginity to was like, you can't do that song, you got boobs.
Wait. Do you still remember it?
I mean, all I remember is memories.
Yeah. That's it?
No.
Oh.
The other one, the Barbara one. I do not remember it except for memories are the glands that I need. I mean, that's all I remember.
That's really it?
I don't remember anything else. I wish I did, but it was the whole song. It was terrible. I had a tape with like piano on it that I had them play. It was
Oh my God.
it was bad.
And yet you literally became a success. Like, did you become a success with that number, or did you finally cut it then you
Yeah, I
became
became a
success?
big star after I sang that.
Hey, Dad. I'm saying you obviously became really successful, but did the success, like, did you cut the number before the successfulness happened?
Yes, years before.